Hey everybody, it's Tia DeShay. Today is Thursday, July the 14th, 2022. It is 2:07 p.m. and I am Tia DeShay. I write now so others can remember later. I produce Purpose from Chaos, and I am a spiritual teacher for social, generational, and personal change. It is my intention on this channel to fulfill the scriptural mandates of Jeremiah 1:9. Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched my mouth and said to me, I put my words in your mouth in Revelation 10:11. Then I was told, you must prophesy again about many peoples, nations, languages, and kings. It is my prayer for Matthew the 13th chapter and the 35th verse to unfold in my life, ministry, and practice. So was fulfilled what was spoken through the prophet. I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter things hidden since the creation of the world. Once again, this is Tia DeShay, and this is a Mirror Moment Message with Tia DeShay. And also, I'm going to start introducing myself as Reverend Deandra Everhart, because that is another title and role that I go by, Reverend Deandra Everhart. So, I am Reverend Deandra Everhart, or known to you as Tia DeShay, and this is a Mirrored Moment Message with Tia DeShay. Now, usually I put my Mirrored Moment messages on, I put it on two platforms, either on my YouTube channel, which you're listening to now, or on my app. My app, Mirrored Moments. With Mirrored Moments, I have an app entitled Mirrored Moments, and it's available on Android and iOS. But this particular message, I want to put it out on YouTube because it's for everyone. It's not just exclusive to the people who have purchased my app, because everybody needs to hear this. So if you haven't downloaded my app, Mirror Moments, you may do so on iOS or Android, and that's exclusive content. Is content on there that you can only find on the app. You will not be able to find that content anywhere else, nowhere else on my social media pages, which I'm on Facebook under Mirror Moments with Tia DeShay. I'm on Instagram, Mirror Moments Tia DeShay. I'm on LinkedIn under Deandra Everhart. But on my app, it's exclusive content. I make it a priority. I make it a priority that I only put content on there that's exclusive to the people who have purchased and downloaded the app. So my app is available, Mirror Moments, on iOS and Android. But this particular message, everybody needs to hear it. So oftentimes, and this message is inspired by a conversation I was having, and I received the download during the conversation. So oftentimes when I listen to tarot readers on YouTube, they'll mention, oh, someone is cursing you or hexing you. They've hexed your bloodline, your ancestors. They placed a curse on you. In this message, I want to clarify. First, let me ring this bell. Needed to ring the bell, y'all. Clear the energy. Clear my space. So, oftentimes, they'll say that in the reading, and I want to, and I have a message about this on my app, Mirrored Moments, that's related to this topic. I feel it is my mission because I am a teacher. I am a spiritual teacher. I am to teach, which means that if I see or hear or observe anything that I feel or that the Spirit tells me needs to be further clarified, that's my responsibility as a teacher, so that people aren't misinformed. So until people can come to an understanding and get beyond Hollywood's interpretation or perception of black magic and curses and hexes, then it's my responsibility to teach those who have ears to hear about curses and black magic and hexes. So these tarot readers will say, oh, someone's put a hex on your family, on your bloodline, and that's why, you know, you can't keep a relationship, or that's why when you get close to a breakthrough or close to your success, you know, it feels like a monkey wrench is thrown into the mix. And then people will come to me, you know, if people get a reading through me, you know, they want to know, and I'm saying personally, if people book an appointment with me and want a reading, and, you know, because they're hearing this conversation, this jargon, this rhetoric about people putting hexes on you, and coming to you in your dream state, then they want to know, well, do I have a hex on me? You know, is it somebody doing black magic? Because it's just being thrown out here so liberally, so on a consistent basis through social media, YouTube, and tarot readers, and all of that. So it's my job, my duty, my responsibility to clarify. Don't allow your perception, when you, the connotation of the word hex or curse or black magic or dark spells, the connotation of that, to get you to now imagine in your head somebody, you know, with all black on and a witch's hat, and they're standing in front of a full moon and dumping different ingredients inside of a cauldron, or they're cutting a chicken's head off and doing all of these blood rituals and sacrifices. Not saying that those things don't exist, because they do. But I want to bring it home in a way that everybody can understand that more often than not, it is not that serious. When you hear a tarot reader saying, oh, there's a curse or a hex on your bloodline, don't immediately go into that scenario of somebody cutting a chicken's head off, drinking the blood, passing the cup around, and different people are drinking the blood, and they're outside under a full moon. Don't immediately go to that. I'm going to tell you how you have done this yourself. You've cursed and hexed an entire bloodline and unknowingly did it, and how people do it on an everyday basis. And it has nothing to do with a preconceived image in your head of people doing these rituals, you know, in the dark. Not saying that they don't do it. There are cases and instances when they do, but that's not what I'm talking about. When people, whether they're angry, for whatever reason they may say it, and I'm saying this in context, so don't get offended by the language that I'm using. When people are angry with you for whatever reason they are angry with you, and they say something to the extent of fuck you and your mama, that's a curse, people. That's a hex that they don't put on your mama. And therefore, if they put it on your mother, they put it on you. And so now it's a hex that's on your bloodline. Saying things like that is a curse or a hex. Now, whether you mean it or not, or whether, you know, you're saying it in a state of anger, it doesn't matter. The whole laws of physics, and the traveling of sound and vibration, it doesn't, those laws don't, they cannot differentiate if you're playing or not, or if you're just saying something out of anger and then 5 minutes later you regret it. Once you release those words, which are attached to a frequency, a sound vibration, they're out there. And the emotions that's attached to that, to what you just said, is now accelerating that, whatever it is that you said. That's a curse, people. That's a hex that you just placed on somebody in their bloodline or somebody in their family. Or if somebody, you know, says, I'm gonna kill you and your whole family, that's a curse. That's a hex. So people are doing that every day. when they get mad at people and angry at people, or they feel betrayed, they feel hurt, they feel abandoned. When people will say, fuck my mama, she ain't never done shit for me, and if she dropped dead today, I could care less. Or, fuck you, if I see you in the street and you dying and you bleeding, I'm gonna let you just die and bleed out. I wouldn't even try to save you. If you was in hell, I wouldn't even give you ice water. Those are curses and hexes that you're placing on people. And you're not standing in front of a full moon drinking some chicken's blood. You just curse somebody and hex somebody with your words. So we need to be mindful of that. Get out of this envisioning that somebody went to a root worker, a root doctor, and they went in the backwoods and got some herbs and started mixing them together and threw them in front of your house or something like that, or threw it on your property. Although people do that, to make this more realistic and more down to earth, more often than not, people are cursing you and hexing you and your bloodline and your family with their words. They're doing more spell work and magic with their words than they're doing any other way. And I'm here to tell you, those who are practitioners of hoodoo, voodoo, any other African traditional religious system, once they get to that level and they're doing that, for the most part, I'm not saying that there aren't some people who specifically and consistently deal with the left hand and with the darker side of it, but for the most part, when you get to that level where you are consciously and intentionally practicing an African traditional religion, you don't even have time to waste on doing petty stuff like that, hexing and cursing somebody. When you get to that level, it's not even a concern of yours. Like you not. But I'm here to tell you that you are cursing and hexing people every single day, based with your words. You are the witch that you supposedly turn your nose up at, and say, oh, that's of the devil, and that's all black magic, and that's witchcraft. You are a witch every single day when you misuse your words, or when you intentionally use your words to hurt people or to bring people down. You are a witch. You're engaging in witchcraft. You're engaging in magic using your words. When you gossip, I'm trying to tell you, what gossip is the one of the ultimate ways of you practicing magic. Gossip is magic and casting spells on people. When you gossip about somebody and you say they ain't shit and I can do that and that ain't nothing and I can't stand them and I hope, this happened to them, and I hope, they get run over by a truck, or you just consistently just spewing negativity and dirt and venom. Every time you say their name, is something negative attached to it. That's casting a spell. That's witchcraft. So I don't care what your religious affiliation is. I don't care, how well versed you may be in theology, in the Bible, and Christianity, and Judaism, and Islam, or any other religious practice. It doesn't matter. If you gossip and you deliberately are spreading lies about a person, maliciously tearing them down with your words, then you are engaging in witchcraft and magic. Even when a parent says to their child, you ain't shit, you ain't gonna never be shit, you just like your no good daddy, or you just like your no good mama, or you crazy like your mama, or you just dumb, you so stupid, what the hell is your problem? Those are all spells. You're engaging in witchcraft. You have now cursed that child or that person that you're talking to. Or your daddy ain't never been shit and his people ain't never been shit. That's a spell that you just put on that entire bloodline. You're doing it. It's not about somebody in the backwoods, practicing some kind of dark, evil magic with a magic wand. You do it every day. When you speak that way, when you gossip about people, when you're mean, maliciously, when you verbally bully someone, when you emotionally bully someone, when you engage in narcissistic behavior, when you tear people down, when you're jealous, when you're envious. Oh, I could do that. That ain't nothing. She thinks she all that. Or he think he doing something. That's magic, negative magic, curses, hexes. That's what it is. So when you hear tarot card readers saying words like that, bring it back down to an everyday level. And when you do that, you're going to realize like, oh, shoot, I do that too, or I've done that before. But as long as we keep it, we romanticize it, we think it's what Hollywood tells us is black magic is, then that way we don't have to take accountability for our actions. That way it's like, oh no, I can't be out here, doing black magic on myself. Because when you call yourself stupid, when you say you dumb, when you say you're a loser, when you say you're a failure, you just casted a spell on you. You just casted a curse, a hex on you. And anybody that comes after you or through you. But see, like I said, if you want, as long as we can romanticize it and make it seem like it's somebody, like I said, putting all this stuff in a cauldron during a full moon, then we don't want to take responsibility for ourselves. And we don't want to take accountability that, hey, wait a minute, I'm actually cursing or hexing myself. Or I actually cursed or hexed somebody else when I called them stupid. Or when I was gossiping about them. Or when I was jealous or envious. Or when I said I wish they would drop dead, or I wish they would go to hell. So how do you counteract that? What I do every day when I wake up, before I go to bed, it can even be during the day if I feel led to do it. I say, anybody that has been gossiping about me, anybody that has spoken my name in a conversation and had ill intentions, they were maliciously hurtful, talking, regarding me or saying maliciously hurtful things about me, or hexing my life through words, through gossip. I say that and I say I return it to sender. I return it to sender. Because people have conversations about you. That's why the title of this message is Curse Under One's Breath. People are literally, they can see you on the street and curse you underneath their breath. They could be like, yeah, this bitch thinks she just all of that. Look at her. She ain't shit. Or they could, when I say cursing under one's breath, metaphorically, symbolically, they're talking about you in hushed tones behind closed doors where you can't hear it. They could be talking to, a friend, a relative, a spouse, a neighbor about you and spewing venom on your name. So you gotta call that thing out. You gotta bring that thing out in the open and bring it to the light and then return it to sender. And that's what I do. In the morning when I wake up, before I go to bed, during the day, if I feel led to, return it back to sender. Anybody that's maliciously gossiping about me with ill intent, putting verbal curses and hexes on my life with their words, I return to sender. You have to take control of your life. You cannot allow those words to come to you, to vibrate to you, because then you'll start thinking thoughts that aren't even your own. Like, that's the real thing. You start picking, because the more you grow spiritually, the more sensitive you get, and you'll start picking up on thoughts and feelings and emotions that don't even belong to you. You need to return that to sender. Any conversations that you aren't privy to in the physical realm, but your ancestors, your spirit guides is privy to it in the spiritual realm. Anytime they hear, any conversations they heard about you that maliciously was attempting to tear you down and to create blocks and obstacles in your life, return to sender. Take your power and authority back. Don't be naive. Do that as part of your spiritual practice every day, and watch how your life will change. And start observing. Pay attention to when things start happening in people's lives. Whether it's a neighbor, a friend, a co-worker, your spouse, boyfriend or girlfriend, your child. Ain't nobody off limits here. And things start happening to them, maybe they've been talking about you behind your back, saying mean things about you behind your back, and start observing what's happening in their life when things supposedly start falling apart. Well, they probably are falling apart because you return to sender. Anybody who was talking about you behind your back maliciously, attempting to create obstacles and blockages in your life and in your family's life, and you return to sender, and now it looks as if their world, quote unquote, is falling apart. They probably was talking about you, and you did that return to sender, and boom, bam, karma is hitting them. This is what I mean about making this a lifestyle, and where your spirit team works for you and you never caught off guard. Start returning that mess back, and then pay attention to what goes on in people's lives. You'll know the ones who've been talking about you, who've been wishing you no good behind your back, praying for your downfall, coming up against you behind closed doors, cursing you underneath their breath. So this has been another Mirror Moment message with Tia DeShay. I know you learned something. Apply it. Start taking back your life. Start being aware out here. And start returning to sender. Any conversation where your name was brought up and it was ill intent. It was malicious. It was centered around envy and jealousy and spite and wickedness. You return it to sender. And then pay attention to those around you. And trust me, Spirit will reveal to you the ones that's been talking about you behind your back. Because all of a sudden, quote unquote, their life will be falling apart. So this has been another Mirror Moment message with Tia DeShay. Or some of you will know me as Reverend Deandra Everhart. Remember, pay attention to what you don't see, because what you don't see will help you make sense of what you are seeing. Until next time, be blessed and stay aware.